Trigonometric functions of any angles can be easily determined by knowing the trigonometric functions of the acute angles associated with that certain angle. Okay, and for us to easily determine that, we'll be having the concept of the what we so-called reference angle. Okay, so what are reference angles? Okay, reference angle is defined as the smallest positive acute angle theta associated with a non-quadrantal angle in standard position formed by the terminal side and the x-axis. So we have to take note that reference angles are acute angles, wherein these acute angles are associated with the given angle theta, wherein this acute angle must be formed by the terminal side and the x-axis. Okay, so let us have this example. Suppose we have this angle. We have this angle from the positive x-axis down to this terminal side. So if you notice, this is an acute angle. Okay, this is already an acute angle, meaning to say this angle would be, this angle would be the reference angle of itself, because it is already an acute angle. But what if we have an angle more than this? Okay, what if the angle is terminated on the second quadrant, on the third quadrant, and then on the fourth quadrant? Okay, let us have this one. Let's say, for example, the angle is terminated on the second quadrant. What would be its reference angle? Balik tayo dun sa ating definition. Sabi natin, associated with a non-quadrantal angle in standard position formed by the terminal side and the x-axis. Okay? So, dito sa ating illustration, since the terminal side terminated on the second quadrant, meaning to say, ang magiging reference angle natin would be this part. Okay? So, from this one, from the terminal side down to this, to the negative x-axis. Okay, remember na x-axis po yung after tayo when we are after a reference angle. Okay, so what if we have an angle terminated on the third quadrant? Let's say, for example, we have this one. So what will be its reference angle? Sir, pwede po kaya dito yung reference angle? Okay, based on our definition, it must be what? It must be after the x-axis. So, meaning to say, ang reference angle natin would be this one. Okay? Again, it is the smallest acute angle associated with the given angle theta. Okay, what if our angle is terminated on the fourth quadrant? Just like this one, what would be our reference angle? So, our reference angle, hindi na tayo babalik dito kay axis na ito or dito sa side ng x-axis na ito dahil this is not an acute angle anymore. So, dun tayo sa mas malapit. So, the reference angle would be this part. Okay? Alright, so let us have an example. Let us find the reference angle of certain given angle theta. Let's say, for example, we are given an angle which measures 135 degrees. Okay? And we all know that the reference angle, if it's terminated on the second quadrant, is this one. Okay, so how are we going to look for our reference angle? What we're going to do is to do some computations. Okay, since reference angle is denoted by theta prime. Okay, so in dealing with reference angle, we are actually doing some computations. Okay, we all know that this straight line measures 180 degrees. Okay, that is 180 degrees. So for us to look for our reference angle, if it's terminated on the second quadrant, then what we're going to do is to deduct the given angle to 180 degrees. So that will yield to 180 degrees minus 135 degrees. So meaning to say, our reference angle would be equivalent to that is 180 degrees minus 135. That will yield to 45 degrees. So meaning to say our reference angle would be 45 degrees. So in this case, since we're already given the reference angle, trigonometric functions of that certain angle can be easily be determined. Okay? Okay, next. Let us have another one. What if we are given a negative angle wherein in this case we have a negative rotation or a clockwise rotation? Suppose we are given negative 245 degrees. So how are we going to find its reference angle? Okay, here's the catch. When we are given a negative angle, what we're going to do is to find, since the concept we have discussed kanina, or yes, a while ago, was a concept pertaining to those angles in a positive rotation. So gawin natin, ilagay natin yun sa konsepto na diniscuss natin kanina. Okay, so for us to make this negative angle a positive one, what we're going to do is to look for its coterminal angle between 0 degrees and 360 degrees. Again, if we are given a negative angle, what we are going to do is for us to what? For us to look for its coterminal angle or an angle coterminous with a negative angle para madali nating mahanap yung reference angle. Okay? So in this case, since we are given negative 245 degrees, for us to look for a coterminal angle between 0 degrees and 360 degrees, what we're going to do is to add 360 degrees to our given angle. So that would be negative 245 plus 360 degrees. So meaning to say, the angle coterminous with negative 245 is 115 degrees. And in this case, dito na po natin hahanapin yung reference angle. Okay? So, since kapag ginraph naman natin or kapag nilagay naman natin in standard position si 115 degrees, same lang din naman siya kasi nga coterminous silang dalawa. Okay? Meaning to say, our reference angle would be this one. Okay? So that would be the reference angle is equal to still, since dito yung ating concern or focal point, then we still have 180 degrees minus the given angle. So that would be 180 degrees minus 115 degrees. And that will yields to that is 180 minus 115. That will yields to 65 degrees. So meaning to say, for us to look for or for us to easily determine the value of our or the trigonometric function values of a given angle, then we can have the trigonometric functions of its reference angle. Okay? So, again, let us review. If the given angle is terminated on the first quadrant, then its reference angle is the angle itself. But if the given angle is terminated on the second quadrant, then we have to deduct the given angle by 180 degrees. But what if the given angle is, let's go back, the given angle is on the third quadrant? What we're going to do is, we have here still 180 degrees, but the minuend must be the given angle first. So kung kay second quadrant, ang ginawa natin is 180 degrees minus the given angle, kay third quadrant, ang gagawin natin is the given angle minus 180 degrees. Okay? And if the angle is terminated on the fourth quadrant, what we're going to do is to deduct 360 degrees by the given angle. Okay? So, to summarize, yan, tulad ng sinabi ko kanina, if the angle is terminated on the first quadrant, then the given angle would be its reference angle itself. Okay? Next, if it's on the second quadrant, then that is 180 minus the given angle. But if it in radians, since 180 is equal to pi, or 180 degrees is equal to pi, then we have pi minus the given angle. in radians, of course. And if it's on the third quadrant, then we have the given angle minus 180 degrees, or in radians, that is the given angle in radians minus pi. And if the given angle is terminated on the fourth quadrant, then we have 360 degrees minus the given angle, or in radians, that is 2 pi minus the given angle. Okay, so just like what I have told you a while ago, using the reference angle, we can easily determine the function value of a certain problem. Okay, by reducing it, or by reducing the function of any angle to functions of an acute angle using the application of the reference angle. Suppose we have the problem that requires us to find for the tangent of 135 degrees. So if we're going to illustrate that, then 135 degrees terminates on the second quadrant. Okay, and based on our previous discussions from our previous videos, the only function positive on the second quadrant is the sine function and its reciprocal. So meaning to say, si tangent po dito would be or must be negative. It's just because si sine lang naman at saka yung reciprocal niya yung positive dito sa quadrant na ito. So what we're going to do is, if we are not given the calculator, then we can use the application of reference angle. Okay, so what we're going to do first is for us to look for the reference angle of the given angle. So for us to do that, that is, since it is located on the second quadrant, let's go back to our summary table. Since it is located in the second quadrant, then what we're going to do to find its reference angle is we have 180 degrees minus the given angle. So we have 180 degrees minus the given angle, which is equivalent to 135. That is minus 135 degrees. So meaning to say, our reference angle would be equivalent to, that is 180 degrees minus 135. That's gonna be 45 degrees. So that will be the value of our reference angle, or the reference angle measures 45 degrees. Okay? And what we're going to do is, eto na po yung gagamitin natin, nakukuha natin ng tangent function. So that's going to be the tangent of 45 degrees. Okay, and since this expression can be found on the summary that you have made, particularly the trigonometric functions of special angles, and we all know that the tangent of 45 degrees would be what? That is, tangent of 45 degrees, that would be 1. Okay? So that's gonna be the function value of our given. That is the tangent of 135. Okay? So to double check, pwede naman nating i-double check si tangent of 135 if that is really correct. Okay? So to look for that would be the tangent of 135 degrees. And that is what? Negative 1. Okay? Why negative 1? Why negative 1? Bakit kaya? Bakit kaya negative 1? Okay, just like what I have told you a while ago, since the angle is terminated in the second quadrant, the only function positive here is the side function. So meaning to say, the tangent of 45 that we are after to is terminated in the first quadrant. Kaya, ang gagawin natin is for us to what? To consider the sine of the tangent function on the second quadrant. So, this will be what? It should be the negative tangent of 45 degrees. And that will still be yield to negative 1. Okay? So, meaning to say, our answer is correct. So, that's how we use reference angle in finding the function values of any angle theta.